Good evening and welcome to the April 1st meeting of the Richmond Common Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer by me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Here.
Present.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Thank you. You've received the minutes of our March 18th meeting. Any concerns, questions, or corrections?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of our March 18th meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have nothing under presentations and petitions, so we'll go straight to communications from the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have some good news, some interesting news, some fun news. I don't want to rename this fun facts, but I'd like to rename it good news. How's that?
Sounds good.
Make my move update. We have 10 movers that's already moved. There's 3 more in process that are moving right now, and there's 5 more in the process of getting ready to move. The average income of those 13 movers to date has been $104,785. The average income projected was just $100,000, so we're above the projection. That's great. These 13 movers are from Texas, Ohio, Idaho, Tennessee, Florida, Illinois, Nevada, Iowa, Colorado, and California. And earlier today, the EDC voted to extend the contract for 10 more movers to bring the total. We're under contract for the first 20 movers. We got that covered for everything. But we're going to take money from Consolidated Edit to extend the contract for another year because IEDC has money to repay a grant if we get 10 more movers or a total of 30. So we're going to go forward with that. The city did not put any money in the budget this year for that, and that was kind of the problem we ran into in January when this was brought to my attention that they wanted to extend the contract because there's potential out there, and a lot of people were applying, but there was just no money in the budget. So the county commissioners have agreed to take it out of the Consolidated Edit funds.
Are they committed to a period of time?
Yes, I don't know how long that is, so I'm sorry I don't have all those details, but they are, yes. And they get part of it now and part of it later, yes. Yes, sorry, I don't remember all the details. There's a website with all that information. I'm just excited that, the average household is 1.9 persons, so some are single and some are family, so average is almost 2 people per household.
Oh.
Other good news, by the way, of course, the county council will have to vote on appropriating those dollars, but the commissioners asked the EDC to move forward with it, so it shouldn't be a problem. The My Way Trading Fire Site, or Northwest F Street, whatever you want to call it. Good news on that, the EPA handed over the keys to the site last week to the city. The city-owned portion is now cleaned down to the concrete. It's amazing how much concrete is out there. There were a lot of pits and basements and loading ramps, so the city is in the process of infilling those to prevent fall hazards because we know people will likely trespass on it. That's probably assumed. One of the pits was 15 feet deep, so that would be a major problem if somebody fell, so we're spending considerable time. The city is doing it ourselves between the sanitation department, the landfill, and the street department, and U.S. Aggregates and Service Tech is delivering the aggregate and stuff. So instead of paying outside contractors, the city just stepped up and collaborated, said we can fill these using our equipment. Sure. So that's working out well. Final report from the EPA is forthcoming. I don't have that yet, but we'll share it with council when we get it. But there was about 800 tons of steel that was recycled. It was cleaned on site and recycled locally, and that reduced the overall cost of the process. And about 4,000 tons of debris, ACM debris, asbestos-containing debris, was moved to an EPA-approved landfill elsewhere. Spent about $2.8 million in federal super funds, so none of the city dollars were spent on this. If we had hired a contractor to do the infill, it would have added $80,000 to the cost, and we determined that 2 or 3 days of our loader there and a couple of guys filling it would cost a lot less than paying a contractor just $80,000 just for that side of doing the infill. We're paying the same price for the aggregate. So there's some cost there. I have some photos after the cleanup. I expected to go out there and see concrete and dirt and gravel and all charred mess, and I was impressed how clean it is. Most of it's concrete. If you ever wander out there, stay away from the smokestack. That concrete pit you see there, that's the old boiler, and it's still in there, and that's quite deep, and a part of it's collapsing, so we're putting stuff around it. But that smokestack, the EPA would not tear it down. They tried to knock it down, but it wouldn't knock down because it's filled with concrete. There's a concrete core and then brick, so it's probably the strongest structure in Richmond right now. So if you do wander out there, stay away from that. But this concrete is just, the whole thing was just concrete. I can't believe. You know, you would expect concrete for the buildings, but the parking areas all around it, and just, that's how clean it is. Frank from Stevens Wire said, I was expecting them to come out toothbrushes. Once they were done everything, how well they cleaned and washed that and captured all the debris and the runoff. Did a really super nice job. So going forward, we'll keep security fence around the trailers until their fate is decided. That's an ongoing issue with the owner. And the owner still has a site there that has debris on it, still and debris from part of his fire. So directly to the east of what the city owns is you'll see a strip maybe 100 feet wide and 300 feet deep where there's debris still. We're waiting on IDEM is taking action to try to get the owner to clean it up, but if that doesn't happen, and I honestly don't know that it will, city might end up cleaning up later. The next owner to the east of that, he's already cleaned up his property, so if you wander out that way, it's looking really good. The EPA, Stevens Wire was gracious to allow those portable offices and trailers to sit on that gravel parking lot. And so the EPA, the last day there, last week, they brought in gravel and re-smoothed all that and straightened all that out, so just had a really good collaboration. They complimented the city tremendously. Everybody in the city pitched in well. Police keep patrolling the area, and police are going to continue to control the area as we go forward until we find a buyer for it, which is my hope, right?
Yeah.
The last thing I have, of course, next Monday is the Eclipse, the website. They can still use some volunteers at the airport and the Parks Department, so if you want to help with that, you're welcome to help. We have a logistics manual between the police and fire and the county. We have everything mapped out, planned out, staked out. Everybody has everybody's cell phone number, and I think we're ready for pretty much anything. We've got, I think Rumpke is cleaning up, coming at midnight to start their cleanup. We're going out on Saturday or Sunday. We're going out on Sunday to do commercial cleanup to make sure that on Monday that people won't overfill dumpsters. So we're going to clean out the commercial dumpsters on Sunday, and then we'll start our regular residential routes on Tuesday. There's no residential routes on Monday, so it really doesn't affect that. So there's no traffic problem there. But they're going to spend some extra time, the city is, to make sure that if we clean the dumpsters, commercial dumpsters out on the weekend, then hopefully everything is added to a Monday, they won't overfill and spill, and we won't have a big mess on our hands. That's the goal, to not have a big mess. The events at the park start at 5 o'clock. If you have no plans, Glen Miller Park at 5 o'clock on Sunday. This Sunday, there's be bands playing, music, and all kinds of stuff going on, and eventually they'll set the pond on fire like they do for events. So Sunday afternoon, evening will be a good time to just walk around Glen Miller Park, the pond area. That's all I have.
Questions for the mayor? Hearing none, we'll move on. You've received minutes from the Board of Public Works for March 17th and, wait a minute, March 7th and 14th, sorry. No comments or questions? Okay. We don't have a department head presentation, so that takes us to miscellaneous business. Contract number 48, 2024. Thank you.
Hi, Allison Zeidel, member of the Environmental Sustainability Commission. Thomas and I are here just to ask for permission to make that addendum that we're changing the date, the completion date for the use of those funds from the spring to June 30th, and that was because we had the delay in coming to council to ask for permission to accept the money from Okra. So it just kind of just jostled our timeline a little bit. So we're asking for a move of that date. It was not correct or needed to be updated the last time. And do you want me to move on to the second piece, Councilman Tim?
We've got to actually have it read.
To do that
first,
separately? Okay.
And so,
Are there any questions
but we
about that,
can.
though?
Well, we have to vote on this, sorry.
On the interlocal agreement
we
part?
do, yeah.
Okay, great.
Any questions, first of all? I know Finance has talked about this evening and is about to approve the funding, so I assume you like the agreement too.
We discussed it at Finance Committee, and we recommend approval.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve contract number 48, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You're approved.
Thank you.
Now, Madam Clerk, please read. No, the ordinance.
Motion to suspend the rules?
We do
Yeah.
need a motion to,
It's on second reading.
we still have to have a motion to read it on, by title, don't we?
Mr. President, I make a
I think
motion
so, it's on
to,
second reading. It's on second reading.
Well, away we
This
go
is-
then.
this is true.
Yes, it is.
What?
Historically, we've always moved to suspend the rules and read by title only, regardless of its position on first or second, but I could go back and take a look at our ordinance to be sure. It's just the way
President.
we've done it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Motion to suspend the rules and read ordinance number 19, 2024 by title only.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So this is now on public hearing. Those wishing to speak for this ordinance, please come forward. You're already here.
Here. You love it, do you?
So make room for those who are going to speak against it, if you would, please.
Tony,
All those wishing
don't
to
trust
speak against it,
Your eye on?
please come forward. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we,
Mo-
Move to engross.
Move to engross.
move to engross.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 19, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Call the question.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I'm not aware of any unfinished business, so I'll accept a call for adjournment.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. You say yea.
Vote.
Good evening and welcome to the Richmond Power and Light agenda for Monday, April 5th, 2024.
April 1st.
Oh,
April 1st.
April 1st. Sorry about that. 2024. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Here.
Present.
Here.
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 All right. Next, we have approval of the minutes.
Jerry Purcell.
Oh, Jerry Purcell, did she,
I don't think so.
No.
are you here, Jerry?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here. Sorry.
Okay, we have approval of the minutes.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if there are no additions or corrections, I move for approval as received.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have bills to be approved.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Finance Committee has reviewed the bills and moved for the approval of $9,096,042.40.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bills in $9,096,042.40. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have no remarks from the chairman and no unfinished business, so we'll move to the report from the general manager.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Good
Tony.
evening.
We have a few things on the agenda tonight. Most of them are bidding related. The first one is the request to award the bid on the new Class 7 Super Duty bucket truck as previously approved in the 2024 budget. We did have two bidders that, as we reported when we opened bids at the last meeting. The first was from Southeastern Equipment Company. After trade-in, their bid was $248,500. Estimated delivery date of immediately. Alltech Industries, they had a bid of $200,002 with an estimated delivery date of April 27th, 2024. So this was a little too good to be true because everything's been taking years recently. So we did reach out to the low bidder, which was Alltech, and this is the email we received back. Yes, the build will start the middle of this month and be complete by the end of April 2024. So
Wow.
Wow.
that's a good thing. So what we are requesting tonight is to award the bid to Alltech Industries in the amount of $200,002 for the new bucket truck as previously approved in the budget.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mic down, okay. All right, the next thing on the agenda is a request to open bids on a new electric tow motor for the line department. As previously approved in the 2024 capital budget, we do have a 1982 Hyster J30 tow motor to trade in. I do have some remarks on this, but if you don't mind, first we should probably approve, before I forget, the proof of publication. We did publish this in the Western Wayne News, as we do for all of our capital bid projects. So
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
move to accept and place on file proof of publication.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
before we open those bids, I would read to you or summarize an email I did receive from Aaron Holler. He is our line superintendent. And the reason for this is there were some questions at the last meeting as to why we chose an electric tow motor versus a gas or propane-powered one. So in this case, the main benefit of this is the size. This is the smaller of our two tow motors that we have. It's easier for the guys to maneuver in the aisles in the storeroom. So this one is taken inside the building in our warehouse area where we have our materials. There are areas where the other tow motor won't fit. The electric one has been a a lesser cost to maintain over the years. There's no emissions. It's a benefit because it is primarily used indoors in the storeroom. It is quiet, so the operator can hear others around him or her, whoever's operating it. And they also feel like, he has it quoted here, they could feather this a smaller tow motor when they're putting things on the racks in the storeroom, for example. When this was discussed, Mike and Chuck listed here, they are the storeroom managers. They both spoke up and said they would prefer another electric tow motor for those reasons I just mentioned. And hopefully, like he says, that would answer any questions, but that's kind of the background as to why size, emissions, and how quiet it is a benefit for us. So are there any other questions on the tow motor before we open bids? If not, we have two bids. I'm just going to open the first one. We'll find out who it's from. First bid is from MH Equipment Company in the amount of $43,255.73. That's after offering us $500 trade-in. Our second one looks like it's from Miami Industrial Trucks. All right. This one is for a base price of $32,975, $1,000 trade-in for a total price of $31,975. We would request to take these under advisement to come back to you with a recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to refer the bids for a new electric tow motor. for
Madam
the line.
Chairman.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Tony, where is MH Equipment from?
Huber Heights, Ohio.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to refer bids for tabulation, evaluation, and recommendation. Oh, you already made the motion in a second. Okay, we did. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next one is for the Class 6 tree trimming bucket truck. And once again, we do have proof of publication that we did advertise this bid in the Western Wayne News. So request approval of the proof of publication.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would move that we accept the approval of proof of publication.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
For this, we have three bids. This one on the envelope says Alltech Inc. out of Indianapolis. Base bid $179,744 with a trade-in of $26,000 for a total price of $153,744 with another estimated delivery date of May 2024. So maybe things are turning around in this
That's awesome.
world
Wow.
of vehicles.
Wonderful.
The first one. This next one is from Southeastern Equipment, and they have Indy in parentheses on the cover. And they have a price of $199, $224, and 44 cents. They don't want our trade, so it'd be $199,000.
Well, goodbye.
So it would be $199,244.44. They have 2 units in stock.
Funny.
And finally, Terex Utilities out of Watertown, South Dakota is what this says. That might be corporate headquarters or something, but we'll take a look here. They got sealed twice, so they really followed our directions on sealed bids. They have a bid of $267,255.37. They're offering us a trade of $25,500 for a total price of $241,755.37. And let's see if they have a local office closer than what it said on here, but it just says Watertown, South Dakota. But anyway, that's our third bid for the bucket truck for the tree trimmers. And we'd request permission to take those under advisement.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to refer the bids. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you very much. Just a couple of other things this evening. At the last meeting, we talked about meters and all the cool things that you could see from your AMI meter, which, by the way, all of you are in queue to get your AMI meters installed. So, but in order to see some of those features of your meter, whether it's an AMI or a standard meter, you can access that on Smart Hub. So there's two ways to access that information. The first is going to our website, rp-l.com. On the front page, there is a login where you can log into Smart Hub to get data on your meter and your electric usage. The other way to do it is to go to your phone's app store and type in Smart Hub and look on the bottom corner. It will say by location or name, and you want to search by name. Type in Richmond Power. RP&L is going to pop up. You're going to click Confirm. And if you don't have an account, you would then register. So basically, you'll just need a copy of one of your bills, so you'd have your account number and your address, and then you will be able to log in. As we discussed at our last meeting, there are a lot of features on Smart Hub, including a basic account overview, looking at your usage. For example, on this screen, it shows you your usage a year ago, current month, and previous month. We talked a little bit about this last month as well. You can, if you have an AMI meter, you can look at your hour-by-hour usage or monthly usage. You can also pay your bill very easily here. But what does all this really do for us? So when we adopted NISC for our software for the utility in 2021, it gave us an opportunity to track a lot of information on how we do our billing and how people pay bills. Since we have adopted some of this new technology, the receipt of electronic utility bills is up 26%, basically meaning you get an e-bill versus a paper copy of your bill. Enrollment into our auto pay program is up 34%. People that pay using the mobile app is up by 29%. And using the website to pay your bill is up 23%. So overall, our mailed bills are down 5%, which is approximately 824 bills, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when I calculate that up against what it costs to send each bill, we are saving about $7,500 a year right now with these slight changes, with people getting electronic bills, paying their bills online and things like that. I gave some of this data about a year ago, maybe a little longer, and I encouraged everyone, if you haven't, sign up for e-bill. Everybody that signs up for e-bills, it does help the utility. It's one less bill we have to put in the mail, and every 75 cents per month does add up quickly. So we would appreciate that. I had the opportunity, to shifting gears now, to attend the IMPA annual meeting. This is more than just the annual, our monthly board meeting, but Jack Alvey always brings in really good guest speakers to talk to us about the electric industry. We had some really interesting guest speakers. One of them was an attorney, an artificial intelligence attorney. He actually used to work for Amazon. He's one of the people that I guess was he worked on the pilot program for the Alexa device. He was one of the first people to ever have one in his home because he and his family got to test it out before it was introduced. I won't go into a lot of details, but he just really scared us to death when it came to artificial intelligence. It's going to change how we do business. We had the director from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, CISA division, it stands for Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. She too scared us to death, but and talked about, again, as a utility, when it comes to someone trying to take down the grid, it's not going to happen, most likely, a physical attack. It's going to be a cyber attack. And this is something we take seriously. And actually, before the IMPA annual meeting, we met with our in-house with our IT director, talking about some things that we're going to be doing differently when it comes to cybersecurity and bill payment, for example. We're going to have to revert to some paper methods. Some of these phishing attempts are becoming so incredibly complex that they look very, very real. So we are going to be changing how we do business internally a little bit. We're also going to ramp up our training on thinking before you click. Again, that's one of the ways, of course, that someone's going to gain access. So it was a very timely topic because it was something we were already talking about at the utility. We also heard from the IURC director at the evening dinner, and that was an interesting discussion. And he agrees with IMPA in a lot of the things that IMPA talks about when it comes to we need to have a balanced approach as we go towards renewables, keeping the base load units on until we find that correct balance. And speaking of balance, I passed out the IMPA annual report tonight with the presentation. As you'll see in here, their portfolio continues to change. If you would have looked at an annual meeting or an annual report from IMPA 10, 12 years ago, you would have seen that coal was probably 90% of their portfolio. Coal is now 60.4%, nuclear 19.9%, natural gas 9.5%, and renewables is now up to 10.2%. So this is important because a lot of our customers, especially our industrial customers, are very interested in the makeup of the power they receive. And so this transition is a good thing for our community and a great economic development tool as IMPA continues to change their or work to streamline their portfolio mix. A couple of other things that's going on at RP&L. Our first audit of the year is underway. Everything's going very well there. One of the things we budgeted for this year was to do a cash flow project as a precursor to our rate analysis for next year, and we've started that. The transformer study that we discussed and budgeted for has been started, and Sandra and I have been working with our bond financial advisor in preparation for the CCR bonding process, which could occur later this year, but there are some things we need to get in place that will help that process, so we're working on those. And we'll be bringing some of those to you later this year, basically some policies on cash flow, reserve accounts, things like that. And of course, we have, with all this mild weather, we've been able to get a lot of maintenance and rebuilding projects underway and continuing. So things are going well. And finally, like I think the rest of Richmond and Wayne County, we are going to let our folks go home a little early on April 8th for the eclipse. Something we are doing a little differently, though, just in case there is something that does occur, and if there are masses of people here like is predicted, we are having several of our linemen take trucks home so that it's easier for them to reply versus driving all the way in the plant to pick up a truck to respond. So we are trying to make sure that we are prepared in case of an emergency if it does occur. Most folks have asked us to, not most, we've had a lot of people ask us to turn street lights off and things like that, which we don't have a master switch really to do that. We have, so unfortunately, we won't be doing that. So I have a hunch most people are probably going to be traveling outside of Richmond to view the eclipse. But I know I threw a lot at you this evening, and I would entertain any questions that you have.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any new business? Nope.
Move for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
You are watching Whitewater Government Television, WGTV, Channel 11, part of the Whitewater Community Television family of stations.